Hey guys, and welcome back. In this lesson we're going to duplicate our eyes and put it onto head geometry just to finalize everything, and you know how to do it. So one thing we do first is get the aim frame out of the iRig itself, because it's not going to be duplicated. And another thing we're going to do is select the whole aim constraint Espresso node system and cut it out there, and we're going to use it directly on the aim frame, so it's going to work anyways, and we don't have any mix-up, because this is not going to be duplicated, and the aim system of the rig is going to be here anyways. So we got our entire iRig, and I'm going to move up the rig itself. Let's select those and move them up like this. The aim frame 2. And we select everything except for the target. Oh, let's keep the target in here, just to be to save some work. And it's going to be our left eye. Another thing I'm going to add now is I'm going to add an FFD, because the eye itself won't always be a perfect sphere. Mostly we're going to deform it. So I'm putting this one under the eyeball and just click on Fit to Parent, and this is going to be 200. So the hull of the FFD is always bigger than the eyeball. That way we can have correct deformation. If it's too small, maybe it misses something, or some parts of the eyes may look out of it and it's not going to be deformed. So if I'm deforming it right now, I'm just deforming the eyeball, which is not good. And I'm not going to add multiple FFDs, so I'm just moving it upwards to the main level of the iRig. And now I'm going to, well, it's possible to adjust it in any shape I want it. And the funny thing is, it's still working, so I can have it like this, which looks totally nonsense, but it's still working because the space is wrapped inside. It's like, I don't know, like a wormhole or something. Okay, so we got this one, and I'm going to duplicate the whole left eye and control drag it over here. Or let's first take a look where we are in the... Okay, let's go with 100 plus, and I'm going to 100 minus. That way we got all lined up symmetrically, and for example it's making everything nicer and more easy, so I can just hit 0 on the aim frame and it's fitting perfectly right here. So let's get the new eye. Control click on this one to get everything unfolded, select everything, and with tools, naming tool, we're going to exchange L to R. So this is our right eye. Did it work? Ah, we haven't. Okay, no problem. I didn't even rename the first one, so let's quickly exchange eye to right eye, like this. For some reason it didn't work. Or like this. Now it worked. Okay, we got the right eyelid and the right eye root, etc., etc. Okay, that's good. Let's quickly do this one for the left one too. select everything, can go here and do the renaming, and I just type in L. We got our lefties and our righties. And now we're going to get this one. Okay, now we can lock the layer of the sliders. And I don't want those dots because you can accidentally select them. And I'm going to activate the aim constraint. And as you can see, I just have one, which is because the duplication didn't manage to get those constraints to work also. So I'm quickly selecting the constraints and drag and drop the strength over here, and we can easily connect this, which comes in pretty handy at some time. The hit detection isn't that good in Cinema. It's pixel perfect, which is a cool thing, but yeah, hitting the pixel is another story. Okay, what else do we need? We need the aim target here and basic visibility in the render. And here we are. Okay, now it's there. And to be on industry standard, we need to rename or change the color of all the stuff here. So everything what's red needs to be green. So we'll do this one to be green. And I'm going to get those aim constraints out of the way because they are anyways they are not attached to the body of the character itself, because it's mainly for when he's looking at something that's automatically moving, like he's following a car with his eyes. And we got a null object in the middle. And let's make this a diamond. Where is it? There it is. Always 100. And in the middle, I like to pick something yellowish. Also here. 45 degrees for the yellow color. So that's mainly it. We got our eyes working. We also need, of course, to have this one to be invisible once it's not active. So get the aim null and visible editor. Okay, like this. Yeah. And normally you would just animate the main aim, so you have once all together, all eyes moving together. And if you want to have them like this, you just animate those. But mainly you would animate this one, or even get it to have a constraint so it's automatically following. Okay, that's mainly it. We got everything in place, looking good, working. So let's get the head and put our eyes onto it. As you can see, just place it over here, something like that. Just okay. And yeah, spherical eyes are kind of cliche for 3D stuff, so I added the FFDs, and honestly, you can't just run around, create everything with spheres and have spherical eyes just because of the technique you have here. So let's get those FFDs up and running and reshape our eyes. Push it in a bit, let me just see, something like that. And the outer side, so it's following the skull a bit better, so it's not just a sphere but following. So you could also do this one and have it in the eye holes itself, so you have a character with eye holes. And now get those eyes here onto the head. Before we start, I would like to show you or talk about it a bit. So we will have a joint chain going through the neck upwards and have those three connected to the joint chain using a null. So let's go to character, joint tool. There it is. And on the side view, that way Cinema can't do anything wrong with the projection. Control click on those three. Let's check in the front a bit if it's in 0 position. Okay, looking good. And okay, now there's the joint chain. Here we are. Let's get to those and put them on a joint 3. Let me just get the pivot like this. So now comes a cool technique. Character, conversions, convert to nulls. I got my null like before in a perfect position, and that way I can constrain it right onto the joint without moving anything. So let's get those 4. I will just create another null so we can move them again, or just put them in there. Okay, I'll put it in there. Character, constraint, PSR, and our joint chain. Of course, not inside the constraint itself. Like this. As you can see, nothing happened, which is a good sign actually. And now when we move the joints, the eyes follow. But I haven't. Let's put it in the nose here. It's not deformed. And yeah, now let's control click on those joints and move them a bit. As you can see, this is moving nicely if I get the right axis to move. Okay, now let's weight the head by selecting the joints and the head. Go to character, bind. This is mainly it, so there's nothing more. As you can see, this is already working. You need to adjust the weighting, of course. And in the next lesson, I'm going to use this guy to show you some animation principles. See you in the next lesson.